Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about something that punches way above its pixel size. Top 15 modern pixel art melee and beat 'em up games you must play. These games prove you don't need fancy 3D graphics to deliver pure chaos, style and satisfaction. Before we begin, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into some retro-inspired brawls that hit harder than nostalgia itself. Fight and Rage. Let's kick things off with a game that lives and breathes arcade chaos. Fight and Rage throws you into a post-apocalyptic world ruled by mutant animals who apparently skipped anger management. You play as one of 3 heroes smashing through hordes of beasts in fluid, combo-driven combat. What makes this one pop is how it blends the best of old-school arcade fighting with modern mechanics, branching paths, unlockable characters, and multiple endings. Every punch lands with weight, every kick echoes like thunder, and co-op play is absolutely wild. The good, gorgeous pixel animation, buttery smooth controls, and a combo system deep enough to make a fighting game fan proud. The not so good, it's tough as nails, like controller throwing tough. But hey, that's part of the fun, right? Fight and Rage is basically Streets of Rage after a caffeine overdose. And it's glorious. River City Girls. Time to flip the script. This time it's the girls doing the rescuing. River City Girls stars Misako and Kyoko, 2 high school badasses on a mission to save their kidnapped boyfriends. The result? A stylish, sassy and hilarious beat-em-up drenched in neon, pixel flair and pure attitude. The game nails its tone, self-aware, funny and full of personality. Combat feels satisfying, with punchy combos, parries and upgrades that make each brawl more dynamic. And those cutscenes, adorable anime panels that feel straight out of Saturday morning TV. If you're playing co-op, it's double the chaos, double the sass. The only drawback is some repetitive backtracking, but the charm, music and visual polish more than make up for it. River City Girls is proof that beating up goons can absolutely be a girls' night out. Mother Russia Bleeds. This one's for the folks who like their beat-em-ups grimy, gory and just plain unhinged. Mother Russia Bleeds is set in an alternate Soviet dystopia where underground fighters are forced to brawl through drug-soaked streets and government conspiracies. It's brutal, bloody, and occasionally disturbing in the best way possible. Each punch and stomp feels crunchy and real, and the animations drip with grotesque detail. You can even use syringes mid-fight to juice up. Think adrenaline with side effects. The pixel art is fantastic, mixing vibrant colours with a dirty, oppressive vibe that fits perfectly. On the downside, the violence isn't for everyone, and the difficulty spikes can get intense. But if you crave raw chaos and don't mind some shock value, this is one of the wildest brawlers you'll ever play. Play it with friends, preferably those who won't faint at pixelated blood. Double Dragon 4. The Lee brothers are back again. Double Dragon 4 tries to rekindle the magic of the NES era, keeping the same pixel style and punchy gameplay that made the series iconic. It's classic side-scrolling mayhem. Walk right, punch everything that moves, repeat until victory. Fans of the original will love how faithful it feels, right down to the old-school sound effects. But let's be honest, that's both a strength and a weakness. While the nostalgia is off the charts, the clunky movement and stiff animations remind you how far the genre has come. Still, there's a goofy charm to it. It's like comfort food for brawler fans. Predictable, simple, but satisfying. If you're a retro purist who grew up mashing buttons on the original, this revival will feel like catching up with 2 old friends who still throw punches for fun. '99 Vidas. If you've ever wished your beat-em-ups came with Brazilian flair, Look no further than 99 Vidas, 99 Lives. This indie gem celebrates the 80s and 90s arcade scene with playful references, colourful sprites, and a banging soundtrack that belongs on cassette tape. You pick one of several fighters, each tied to an element like fire or water, and beat your way through hordes of goofy enemies. There's couch co-op, secret moves, and even parodies of old-school game bosses. It's not without flaws. The combat can feel repetitive, and the level design isn't as varied as modern titles. But what it lacks in depth, it makes up for in charm. It's fun, silly, and nostalgic, like playing through a love letter to every beat-em-up you ever rented from Blockbuster. Grab a friend and a soda, and you're set. Okinawa Rush. Martial arts meets pixel mayhem. Okinawa Rush feels like a lost Sega Genesis masterpiece. Fast, flashy, and filled with energy. You play as a martial arts master defending his home against evil ninjas and demons, and the game wastes zero time getting to the action. The combat is tight, with parries, juggling, and even destructible environments. You can punch enemies through walls like a boss. The soundtrack absolutely slaps, and the animations are handcrafted with love. Be warned, though, this game doesn't hold your hand. It's challenging and sometimes outright cruel, but once you get the rhythm, it's incredibly satisfying. The difficulty curve feels earned, not cheap. Think of it as a brawler with a samurai soul. Stylish, brutal, and deeply rewarding when you finally master its combos. I am the hero. I am the hero is basically what happens when someone asks, what if we modernized the 16-bit beat-em-up formula just a little? The result is a slick, fast-paced fighter with crisp pixel art and smooth animation. You play a nameless fighter taking on waves of enemies across stylish levels. The combos are flashy, the transitions are seamless, and the soundtrack makes you feel like you're starring in your own anime opening. The biggest downside? It's short, really short. You'll beat it in a few hours and probably wish there were more. But for what it is, a fast, fun, visually cool arcade brawler, it absolutely delivers. It's perfect for a quick gaming session, or if you want to impress friends by saying, yeah, I beat an entire game in one sitting. Shinobi Non Grata. If old-school ninja games make your heart sing, Shinobi Non Grata is your jam. You play as a rogue ninja slicing through waves of demons and bandits using a deadly kusarigama, a chain blade that feels absurdly satisfying to swing. The pixel art feels right out of the early 90s, but with the kind of fluidity those games never had. Each stage mixes precision platforming with intense melee combat. It's tough. Sure, one mistake can cost you everything, but victory feels amazing. Critics praised its tight gameplay and retro spirit, though beginners might find it punishing. Still, that's part of the charm. It's pure skill-based fun. Shinobi Non Grata is for players who miss the challenge of older ninja titles, but want a smoother, prettier version that doesn't eat quarters. The Messenger. Here's a modern cult classic. The Messenger starts off like an 8-bit ninja platformer, then cleverly evolves into a 16-bit Metroidvania halfway through, complete with time travel and some of the funniest writing in indie gaming. The sword combat is sharp, the platforming feels tight, and the music is so catchy it'll live rent-free in your head. The humour constantly pokes fun at old-school tropes, but it's never obnoxious. Some players wished for more enemy variety, but the creativity and polish make up for it. It's a game that respects your nostalgia while still surprising you at every turn. If you love action platformers with great melee mechanics, this is essential. Bonus points for having a shopkeeper who deserves his own spin-off sitcom. Katana Zero. Few games pull off stylish violence like Katana Zero. You play a katana-wielding assassin who can slow down time, deflect bullets, and parkour through neon-lit crime scenes. Every mission feels like a puzzle of precision, reflexes, and murder ballet. The pixel art is stunning. Every kill looks like a perfectly choreographed movie shot. The story dives into psychological territory, exploring trauma and identity through fragmented dialogue. It's surprisingly emotional for a game where you decapitate enemies in slow motion. The only real downside is its short length. You'll want more when the credits roll. Still, the replay value is high, and it's one of the slickest, coolest melee-driven indies ever made. It's like Hotline Miami decided to trade its guns for a sword and some existential dread. Hyper Light Drifter. If you prefer your melee combat mixed with exploration and mystery, Hyper Light Drifter is for you. It's a beautiful, melancholic world painted in neon pixels, filled with ruins, robots, and secrets. You explore, slash, and dash through a hauntingly atmospheric landscape with no spoken words. The story unfolds visually. The combat balances perfectly between aggression and patience. Every swing matters. Every dodge counts. It's challenging but fair, and the pixel art is some of the most breathtaking ever made. Some might wish for more story clarity, but part of the game's magic is how it leaves room for interpretation. It's a meditation on discovery, loss, and rhythm, just with more swordplay and glowing hearts. TMNT Shredder's Revenge. Cowabunga dudes, Shredder's Revenge is the modern revival we always wanted for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's everything great about the old TMNT arcade games, polished to perfection. You can play as all 4 turtles, plus April and Splinter, across a campaign full of throwback stages, smooth combat, and energetic animation. The co-op mode supports up to 6 players, which means total screen chaos and total fun. It's easy to pick up, satisfying to master, and bursting with nostalgia. The soundtrack rocks, the humour hits, and the action never stops. The only minor issue? It's short, but it's the kind of game you'll replay just for the joy of punching robots with pizza-powered ninjas. Easily one of the best beat-em-ups in years. Blasphemous. Blasphemous is dark, disturbing, and visually jaw-dropping. Imagine a pixel art world inspired by Spanish Catholic imagery and nightmares. That's this game. You play the penitent one, a silent knight wielding a massive sword called the Mea Culpa, carving through grotesque monsters in a twisted, beautiful world. Every animation looks handcrafted, and the atmosphere is thick with sorrow and mystery. The melee combat feels weighty and deliberate, more Souls-like than arcade critics praised the art and storytelling, but noted some rough platforming sections. Still, it's unforgettable. Blasphemous proves pixel art can be horrifyingly gorgeous, and its combat makes every swing feel meaningful. Just maybe don't play it right before bed, unless you want to dream about crying statues. Infernax. Retro fans, rejoice! Infernax is what happens when Castlevania meets moral choice systems. You play as a returning crusader, battling a demon infestation in your homeland, hacking and slashing your way through monsters, quests, and gnarly bosses. The combat feels crunchy and precise. The story adapts to your decisions, and the pixel art is dripping with charm. You can choose to be a noble hero or a chaotic jerk, and the world changes accordingly. Some enemies repeat, and it can be tough early on, but once you level up, it's pure old-school joy. It's one of those games that remind you why 2D melee combat never goes out of style. Bonus points for having a killer soundtrack that makes you want to slay demons and dance a little. Scott Pilgrim vs. The World the Game, Complete Edition. Finally, we end with a legend. Scott Pilgrim vs. The World takes the comic and movie universe and turns it into a pitch-perfect beat-em-up overflowing with style and humour. You fight through Toronto streets, punch hipster X's, and jam to one of the best chiptune soundtracks ever made. The pixel art bursts with personality, the co-op gameplay is smooth, and every level oozes charm. It's got RPG elements too. You can level up, buy food for stat boosts, and customize your fighter. If there's a flaw, it's the occasional grind and enemy spam, but who cares when you're fighting with friends in glorious pixel chaos? This re-release fixed old issues and brought the cult classic to modern consoles, and it's every bit as fun as fans remembered.
Your history! Scout heights! Looks like another victory for the forces of good.
Marvellous verdict, and that's the full brawl, folks. 15 pixel art melee and beat-em-up games that prove the genre is alive and kicking harder than ever. Whether you want brutal chaos, stylish ninjas, or co-op mayhem, there's something here for you. If you enjoyed this list, drop a like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which game you're jumping into next. Until next time, keep those pixels punching.